Have you ever started something with this incredible burst of excitement only to kind of give up halfway through? If that sounds familiar, you need to stick around because I've got a story about a young carpenter that, honestly, it might just change your life. I want you to take a second and just look around. Not just at your desk, but in your head. Is it like a graveyard of half-read books, goals you've abandoned, projects you just never finished? If you're nodding along right now, you are not alone, and you are in exactly the right place. So, to really get into this, we're going to follow the story of a guy named Marcus. His struggle with what we're going to call the curse of incompletion is something I think a lot of us are going to find painfully familiar. So, this is Marcus. And on paper, the guy has it all, right? He's talented, he's got skill, his mind is just overflowing with these brilliant ideas. But, and it's a big but, he's totally trapped. He's haunted by this one thing he just cannot seem to do: finish what he starts. And you can literally see the evidence of his problem. I mean, his workshop, it's not really a place where things get created. It's more like a museum of broken promises. Every corner holds the ghost of a dream that he just gave up on. And you know what makes it even worse? He's carrying around the weight of his father's words. These weren't just some random words. They were this constant, nagging reminder of his failure, adding this layer of shame to every single unfinished piece. You know how in every story of real change, there's always that one moment, that turning point where the pain of staying the same is just, it's way worse than the pain of changing. Well, for Marcus, that moment was what we'll call the wedding chess fiasco. So this was it. This was the big one. A high-profile, really well-paying project that could totally change his reputation and, more importantly, it could prove to himself that this time was going to be different. He was absolutely sure of it. But, well, you can probably guess what happened, right? That old, familiar pattern came creeping back. He kicks things off with so much passion, but then that little whisper of a new, better idea shows up. That shiny new idea, the temptation to start something fresh, it was just always more powerful than the hard work of finishing. And this is what it all led to. On the wedding day, while everyone is celebrating, Marcus is left with nothing but the sound of those bells and that unfinished chest sitting in his workshop. It's like a monument to lost money, a lost reputation, and, yeah, worst of all, lost self-respect. And right there, in that moment, surrounded by all his failures, he just whispers these words that would change absolutely everything. It's that kind of raw, honest cry that, it only comes when you've well and truly hit rock bottom. So, totally broken and desperate, Marcus goes looking for the one person in town known for his incredible craftsmanship, an old master carpenter named Samuel. And this, right here, is where the secret is finally revealed. And wow, stepping into Samuel's workshop, it was like entering a completely different universe. Where Marcus's place was just chaos and unfinished business, Samuel's was a sanctuary of focus. Everything, from the tools on the wall to the finished pieces, it just screamed a totally different mindset. So Samuel gives Marcus a name for his enemy. He tells him, it's not that you lack ideas, you're getting stuck in the wilderness period. He explains that messy, frustrating, boring middle part of a project, that isn't a sign you should quit. No way. It's actually proof that you're on the right track. And then, Samuel drops what might be the single most important truth of this entire story. See, we all think we need more motivation to finish things, right? But Samuel says, no, that's the trap. Motivation is flaky. It's unreliable. It is not the answer. Okay, think of it like this. Motivation? That's the exciting flash of lightning that shows you the path for a second. But commitment? That's the steady lantern you actually carry with you to get through the darkness. See the difference? One's just a feeling, but the other is a choice. Okay, so how do you actually build that commitment? Well, Samuel gives Marcus this beautifully simple, totally actionable plan. A rule that anyone, you, me, anyone, can start following today. I mean, just look at how simple this is. Not a dozen projects, just one. And not the biggest one, the smallest one. And the promise isn't this huge, scary thing. It's just to touch it. To show up every single day for 10 minutes. See, it's all about building that muscle of consistency, not chasing the fleeting emotion of motivation. And just like that, with this one simple rule, everything starts to change for Marcus. Let's watch what happens when he actually puts this plan into action. So Marcus picks a simple little stool. He shows up, just 10 minutes. And then, on day 5, that temptation for a new idea hits, but he resists it. And then, somewhere around day 12, something inside him just shifts. He starts feeling pride, not for starting something new, but for continuing. And before he knows it, boom, day 23, the stool is done. It's just a small victory, but oh my gosh, it changes everything. Because you see, it was never really about the stool. It was about proving to himself that he could finish. Every single completed project, no matter how small, started to rebuild his identity. It strengthened that finishing muscle, and it just transformed him completely from the inside out. Okay, so let's boil all of this down into 3 powerful truths you can take with you. Number 1, the middle is always hard. That's not a stop sign, it's a sign you're on the right road. Number 2, finished is way better than perfect. The world doesn't care about your brilliant idea in a notebook, it rewards finished work. Done is the goal. And finally, number 3, forget motivation. Consistency is your superpower. Small, daily actions will beat a burst of motivation every single time. And that, of course, brings us to you. I want you to look at that graveyard of your own half-done projects and just choose one. Seriously, just one. The smallest, simplest one. And make the promise. For the next 30 days, you're just going to touch it every single day. Because the second you finish that one thing, you prove to yourself that you are a finisher. And believe